Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips. So going through all the morning news and whatnot, I had this article sent to me. It's on Vice Motherboard and it's reporting that during the protests, riots in Ukraine, the government actually managed to send out a text message to every single mobile phone, cell phone, in and around the area of the protest. So in turn, there's masses and masses and masses of groups of people there, masks on, hats on. I'll think, right, well, okay, I can protest and there's not going to be any retaliation because I'm at least able to keep my identity secret. And you start, your mobile phone goes off, you pick it up. Hello there, it's your friendly government. We know that you're the mass... I don't know. Dear subscriber, you're registered as a participant in a mass disturbance. Now, this is the first I've heard of this getting used. During the Occupy period, I heard that Apple... I'm going to murder this because it's obviously a year and a half, 2 years ago. Apple were putting things into their iPhones that would... that's it. It would allow them to shut down the ability of the camera and recording equipment of the phone in certain situations. The story seemed to die off and it never really got followed through, so I've not heard whether Apple actually implemented that, whether people know they've implemented it or whatnot. Probably they've got backdoors into everything. But this is even a step further. This is them coming directly into your handset and telling you that this phone, your ID number, and I know it's just a SIM card you can throw away and stuff, but it's the bully and it's the intimidation of this that I think is the most scary thing. A lot of people, oh, well, it's just a text message. But how intimidating. Imagine you were one of the police officers off duty and you wanted to participate in the protest because you think the protesters had a right. You turn up for the protest on your day off, think you're fairly anonymous, don't want to tell your colleagues that you're there peacefully protesting, and you get a text message to your phone, you're registered as a participant in mass disturbance. Fucking scary, terrifying, man, and that's what it is. It's bullying and intimidation by the state. They shouldn't be able to do that, but they can. Anyway, let's see what this article says anyway. So maybe the most Orwellian text message a government's ever sent. Dear subscriber, you are registered as a participant in mass disturbance. I think they should send, you should alter this a wee bit and send this text message to everybody in the world, and it should say, Dear slave, you are registered as a participant in a mass deception. And you give that to everybody. And you say, dear slave, because everybody's enslaved through their birth certificate. More than 99.999% of people in the world are all enslaved through their birth certificate. Go and look at your British birth certificate. Go and look at your birth certificate. And somebody pointed out to me the other day, go and look at baby Georgie's birth certificate. See if you can see the difference. And see if you can see what's missing off a baby Georgie's birth certificate that tends to be on every other fucking slave's birth certificate. It shows you the fraud it is. It didn't look like bond paper to me on little baby fucking Satan Georgie's birth certificate. Go and check that out. But anyway, that's a text message that thousands of Ukrainian protesters spontaneously received on their cell phones today as a new, that's mobile phone in the UK, as a new law prohibiting public demonstrations went into effect. It was the regime's police force sending protesters the perfectly dystopian text message to accompany the newly minted perfectly dystopian legislation. In fact, it's downright Orwellian, and I hate that adjective and only use it I mean, absolutely necessary, I swear. Oh, Jesus. But that's what this is. It's technology employed to detect non-compliance. To home in on dissent, the New York Times reports that the Ukrainian government used telephone technology to pinpoint the locations of cell phones in use near clashes between riot police officers and protesters early on Tuesday. Using a cell phone near a clash lands you in the regime's hit list. See also, Kiev is tearing itself to shreds right now, but since we are kind of burnt out on protest riots, the revolutions at the moment, it has been treated as below the fold news. Well, you're right, it definitely isn't getting the attention it should be in the Western media, but oh fuck, this guy's, I don't know, I don't think, I think there's an ulterior motive for keeping this off the fucking mainstay in the Western media. Somehow the fact that over 1 million people are marching, camping out and battling with Ukraine's increasing authoritarian government, well, I know where this guy's butter is breaded, man, because this guy's obviously pro-European and anti-Russia. I'm anti-EU and anti-Russia. I'm fucking pro-Ukraine. I think I'm the only one I've heard anybody actually fucking say that. Fuck the EU, fuck the Ruskies, fuck them all off, man, and trade with everybody. I heard somebody say that in a comment the other day, man, and it's just, unfortunately, it's too grown up and makes too much common sense for fucking retards to employ it, because if they don't, they need mass confusion. They need mass confusion so they can fucking do what they want. If we simplified everything and actually, when you said something, you mean what you say and you carry it out, and you like, I don't know, let's say a manifesto was a contract, and you could get held, you could break that contract and then kick them out. So a manifestos, they should be contracts. They should be as a here is my proposed contract to the people. That's even if you believe in government, but that's another discussion for another day. So, you know where this guy's bread is buttered, I believe. Now, Vice, I watch quite a lot of like Vicey stuff, and it's very interesting, and I've never really looked into them, but I would imagine there is some sort of a real money with some motives behind Vice, because they certainly don't seem to be shy of a few pounds or two. But anyway, so this is by Brian Merchant anyway, so not Vice. But government is barely making a ripple behind such blockbuster news bits as bridge closures and polar vortexes. Yes, even though protesters are literally building catapults and wearing medieval armour and manning flaming dump trucks. Now, see how he's... Can you imagine if protesters turned up for whatever reason and set police on fire, I don't know, in Europe, in the UK, or in America? In America, I could tell you the police would have shot back and killed people. Probably every single one of the protesters, right? So this is what I'm saying about trying to be fair and unbalanced and unbiased. American cops would have shot back and probably killed... I mean, fucking go and look at American cops. They kill people at the drop of a fucking hat. I'm not to single out American cops. It just happens that country tends to be a wee bit trigger happier than the rest countries, unfortunately. But cops everywhere... Cops in the vast majority of countries, I say, would have... wouldn't have sat back and let themselves get set on fire without retaliating. I don't know. Hopefully news of the nascent techno-security state will turn some heads. It's right out of 1984, and more recently, Elsalem technology deployed to detect dissent again. This tech appears to be highly arbitrary. Anyone near the protest is liable to be labelled as a participant, as it is targeting protesters directly, and so broadly wasn't bad enough in the first place. It's a further reminder that authoritarian regimes and exploiting the very technology once celebrated as a vehicle for libertation. Last year in Turkey, you recall, the state rounded up dissident Twitter users. Now Ukraine is tracing the phone signal directly. Dictators have already proved plenty adept at pulling the plug on the internet altogether. All of this puts lie to the lately popular mythology that technology is inherently an liberating force. With the right hack, it can oppress just as easily. Oh, that is very true. Distracted with the boobs there. I'll leave a link for this down below, you can go and check it out. I'll leave a link for the New York Times. Is that the New York Times? The New York Times. This is the New York Times article that they were speaking about. Gives you a wee bit more breakdown there, a lot more information. So I'll leave a link for both of them down below, you can go and check out if you want. But the most Orwellian text message ever sent? Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no. I've not read them all yet. But thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. If you're glad I brought the information to your attention, subscribe to my channel down below. Check out the Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all the links below. Good way to keep in touch if they shut the channel down. Leave all your links, good, bad, ugly. Leave all your comments even, good, bad, ugly and indifferent. They're all welcome. Check out the radio show, link below as well, truthfrequencyradio.com. You'll get Glasgow Underground News Network live every Sunday, 6 to 8 PM. Yeah, you get me and Kev there. Alrighty YouTube, thanks for listening. Catchies.